Guadalupe River reached major flood stage over 22 feet. By 5 a.m., it was cresting at 37 feet in Hunt, Texas.
Okay, now I've got to do a final sweep of the neighborhood and then get the pets to a kennel on higher ground. I'm counting on you and Luann to wrap everything up and get to the shelter.
And this setup is similar to the flood of 2002, where tropical rain surged in from the Gulf, leading to a historic weather event.
It's like God took our picture before he kills us. Go, go, go!
So a reminder that early summer can be a time where weak tropical storms near Texas, and they have the potential of driving in days of heavy rainfall.
Dang it, I need to find higher ground. Hello? Hello, anybody here? Oh my God, the red phone.
Dang it, Everett, were you off combing your mustache? I need a status report.
Everett's not here. This is Hank Hill, Assistant Manager, Strickland Propane.
Hank Hill, Assistant Manager, Strickland Propane.
Everett's gone? All right, listen, this is T. Beck Minzemeyer with the Upper Brazos River Authority. The storm's knocked out all our remote sensors, so I'm gonna need your help.
Go ahead.
Okay. Check the monitors. Do you see any damage to the face of the dam?
Oh, God, I am seeing some hairline cracks, yes.
That's okay, they're always there. But if they start getting too big, you'll have to open the floodgate.
I could open it now just to be safe.
No! No. The rain could still let up. Open that floodgate now and a dozen homes and businesses are gone.
Not only are these dams submerging massive amounts of old world sites, incredible buildings that we will never see again, and we have proved this, but the dam itself is a tool, a multi-purpose tool, without a doubt in my opinion. The dams are wiping out hundreds, if not thousands, of old world locations.
Oh, okay, I won't open the floodgate.
Now don't get bullheaded about it. Keep the gate closed too long and the dam could break. All of South Arlen would be destroyed.
Okay, so I'll open the floodgate, but only if...
Look, I got a bass boat stuck in a turbine at the LBJ Dam. You're just gonna have to use your best judgment on this.
Dams are a very strange thing, and it's very obvious at this point that they're not just for generating energy or to manage flooding. 1931 to 1936, right during the Great Depression, the Hoover Dam was created, forming Lake Mead and the largest reservoir in the entire United States, where it submerged multiple towns, brick and stone buildings, and old world structures. When the Hoover Dam was completed, it formed Lake Mead, again, the largest reservoir in the entire United States. This project submerged 248 square miles of land. This is equivalent to 158,720 acres. Gone. And all of it. Residents were told to sell their land to the federal government. Most buildings were abandoned or dismantled. Why dismantle a building if you're going to sink it anyway? These buildings were not built with wood, and they were not built with dirt. They were palaces, and they were from the old world.
The updated forecast calls for continued heavy rain.
Good Lord, are the cracks getting bigger? Bigger?
The entire town was submerged for decades until something happened recently. With record low water levels in this fake lake that they just made. Remember, it's not a natural lake.
Open the floodgate and a dozen homes and businesses are gone. Or the dam breaks and all of South Arlen will be destroyed.
Oh, God, what do I do?
Hoover Dam, and possibly other dams that we've seen, are much more than what we're told. We know technology is being given back to us strategically over time. We all know that there are things that they found in the 1800s that we have never, and we will never see. Thinking energy, frequency, geometry. We don't know what kind of energy is being produced from these dams.
Oh, God.
Visitors today can now walk through the town's ruins. Old roads are now visible. This was one of many buildings, looking mud flooded, of course, and burying a lot of the buildings. And I believe that this is proving that a lot of our map was hit with a lot of water. And this is why we find doors under the ground. Are they powering old world technology that is actually inside this thing, where you have symbolism outside, and the symbolism makes no sense for a dam? Dams aren't just powering towns. They're not saving anyone from floods. They're the thing that's actually flooding the place. They don't care that much about us. Trust me. Trust me.
I'm just glad I made it out of there. It was horrible. But at least I was able to save South Arlen.
How'd you do that?
Well, I opened the floodgate to relieve the pressure on the dam.
Wait, you opened the floodgate?
By now, I'm sure you guys heard what happened in Texas, right? The river jumped 23 feet, kids gone, and Camp Mystic underwater. But let me show you why this ain't just Texas. Is once you line it up flood by flood, it's the same play, different stage. Eastern Kentucky 2022. Flash floods took out entire mountain towns. Multi-generational land wiped out, no warning, no escape. Mississippi Delta 2023. Historic black farmlands flooded out. Right after federal insurance updates raised the rates. Selma, Alabama 2024. Extreme rain hit historic districts. And then here comes the development with rebuild offers. Houston, Texas 2020. It was the 5th flood in 10 years. The same zip codes hit every time. And guess what? It's low-income areas near bayous and never get an upgrade. East St. Louis 2021. The levee failed in fast. And the land right behind it, sitting on some of the oldest black-owned property lines in the state. Camden, New Jersey 2023. Rain hits hard. FEMA zoning flips. Next thing you know, luxury apartments on old church lots. Watsonville, California 2023. Latino farming communities devastated by floods. Land value dropped and agribusiness moved in fast. North Carolina 2022. Historic areas near the Cape Fear River were submerged and insurance dropped coverage right before the rains hit. From Detroit to Buffalo, New York to Florida and so many more. But do you see it now? It's never just about water. It's where it hits, who owns the land and who shows up after. Different cities, same result. Legacy gone, the buyouts fast, and the rebuild don't look like the past.
He's the Arlen Flooder! You heartless bastard.
All right, people, easy. I'm sure Hank has a good explanation for destroying your homes and outlet mall.
Well, I was authorized by T. Beck Menzemeyer to...
You made that name up.
No! The phone was ringing, the red phone.
Oh, and who was on the other end? Commissioner Gordon?
The dam had cracks.
Every dam has cracks, stupid.
Everett's been working at that dam for 20 years, and we never lost a single home on his watch.
Everett? Wait a minute, you're the guy who abandoned his post. I had a difficult decision to make, but I weighed the choices and I acted.
There are places that we're not allowed to go. Sealed off chambers and restricted zones underground. Deep tunnels that are not used for power or maintenance. Is there an old world technology at the site that requires a massive amount of power? What would the government need that much power for? Why are there buildings, places inside this dam that are restricted to even the workers? Why was there a weird ceremony at the dam? Why are there 2 winged figures sitting outside with Thuban written on the ground? Thuban, meaning snake or serpent. And we all know that serpent represents hidden knowledge.
You don't know anything about this because...
Hidden knowledge.
It is a machine. And who owns it? The dam pumps out 4 billion kilowatt hours a year. Sure. It lights up 1.3 million homes. But 4 billion kilowatt hours a year is enough energy to run an entire country. That's 456 megawatts of raw power. This is enough power to run over 6 CERN colliders. They needed to build a dam to submerge miles and miles of structures that would expose their false narrative. It would expose that we had a reset. And something massive happened very recently. This isn't just one location. There are many, in so many countries, that submerged miles of old world sites into the water and destroyed them in the 1900s.
The United States is facing a nationwide flood emergency. In just the first 2 weeks of July 2025, devastating flash floods have struck Texas, North Carolina, and New Mexico, killing at least 142 people. This is not an isolated storm.
This is not an isolated storm.
This is a series of deadly disasters hitting back to back. Many communities, especially rural and low-income areas, are not equipped to handle these events.
Horsepower. We owe the horsepower unit of engine power measurement to Scottish engineer James Watt.
Horsepower, when they came on your realm, they already seen trains. These beings are recent. They're not that long here. They came on your realm, they seen trains, they seen train tracks. Trains were already electric with a motor, but they would strap horses to the trains and have the horses pull the train, hence the term horsepower. And you still call it horsepower in your car today.
Thus, he scrapped the royalty scheme and decided to try a different tact to convince people to buy his engine. Ever the inventor, his solution was to come up with a new unit of measurement that those in need of his engine understood: horsepower, referring to powerful draft horses. Thus, he set about determining how much power a typical draft horse could generate. It isn't known exactly how he came up with the numbers he did, as there are conflicting accounts of the experiments he ran, but after doing those experiments, he figured out that a typical draft horse could do about 32,400 foot-pounds of work in 60 seconds and maintain that power rate for a good long workday.
So when they silly ass them human beings came on your planet, they didn't invent shit, they didn't know about nothing, they were primitive beings.
He then rounded up, going with 33,000 foot-pounds per minute for 1 horsepower. So, in other words, by his estimates, a good draft horse could lift 33,000 pounds of material 1 foot in 1 minute, or 3,300 pounds of material 10 feet in 1 minute, etc.
Block out all the distractions and see with this. The human beings came on your planet, and after they came on your planet, like we've been broken down, over and over and over and over, I've been proving it to you that when they came on your planet, they were primitive beings. In part 1, I also broke down how they came on your planet, and when they seen trains sitting on them tracks with the motors, the human beings didn't understand how to use the electricity. So at that time, they were so primitive in the mind, what they would do is they would strap horses onto the trains. Strap horses onto trains and have the horses pull the train on the track. Hence came the term horsepower. Horsepower.
Take a look at this place. This is the headquarters of Donkeys Incorporated /DonkeysInc.com, where they went viral in suite number 3. I want to show you all around a little with a great shot of Donkeys Inc. The horsepower of a steam engine with those wooden wheels and all. But it's fake. We can also see a founder right over here to the right. And of course, the dragon on the side of their helicopter. It's just there for show, of course. All of this built by a population of nobody. 1897. We only had 130,000 people here.
Could you even imagine 1800 or 1700? The streets would be empty. Yet we're told within our mainstream narrative that nobody constructed palace after palace. And we all just accepted it for years. Where that all ends now.
Human beings came on your planet. They were very primitive beings. I said, they did not understand how to use the technology that they came upon.
He was not the first to propose the idea of equating a steam engine's power to a horse's.
So when the human beings came on your planet, beloved, notice the train. Look at it. Look at it. It was already magnificent. We built it. Look at the tracks. We built it. Not them. We built it. Why are trains built on the ground? Electricity comes from the ground. So we knew that already. So we already knew about electric trains and all of that. Long before the humans try to take over and conquer your shit and then start taking over our ideas and basically, rebrand it and sell it back to us.
Further, by overestimating what a horse could do, whether intentionally or not, he made sure that his product would always over-deliver what he said when trying to get people to buy it, which is a great word-of-mouth marketing trick.
They would strap horses to the trains because they came and seen this. They didn't know how to use electricity. You know what I'm saying? That's why they told us on some goofy shit lightning was coming from the sky, because they didn't know lightning come from the ground.
You know, I never really questioned the logic.
In the end, Watt's engine was revolutionary and played a huge role in the Industrial Revolution. Thanks to this fact, his unit of measure of an engine's power, horsepower, also became popular. Funny enough, today the SI unit of power, the watt, which was named in homage to James Watt, has widely come to replace horsepower in most applications.
And sadly, people believe
They just be lying.
Came to your realm, descended on your realm in 1492. Christopher Colon, aka Mr. Christopher Columbus, and his crew. You know what I'm saying? Divided your world in the Treaty of Tordesillas, divided you in the left and right. Spain took the Western world, which is North and South America, because remember, there's two Americas now. Never forget, it's North and South America. And they both was conquered and colonized. Then the Portuguese, you know what I'm saying, and all the other colonizers took the Eastern world. I told you earlier, Asia means easterly. That's all the word Asia means, easterly. So they divided your realms. One took the western side, next side of human beings to the eastern side. They decided, I'm gonna conquer your shit, I'm gonna take over. Then they begin to attack your people, right? I told you they couldn't win no wars. Look at this shit. They strapping horses to trains. This is where they get their term horsepower from. They didn't know lightning and electricity is the same thing. What is your blood made of? Ain't your blood made of plasma? Is lightning not plasma energy? Don't you got literal lightning running through your veins, beloved? Are you not connected to all the elements, beloved? Fire, which is your soul. The wind, which is your breath. The earth, which is your skin and your element, and you know what I'm saying, your natural shit that makes up your organs, beloved. Are you not breathing in gas, beloved? Are you not connected to all the elements? Are you not 66% water, beloved?
Hey, listen, man, I don't want to get in the middle of this. It's none of my business.
No, boy.
But I just have to say...
When they came on your realms, right, they saw you in your magnificence. They saw you in your glory. And when they saw you in your shine, they couldn't understand. It was blinding them. You was too bright for them. That's why they say you're star seeds. So they had to dim down your brightness. They had to take you from that 100-watt bulb down to a 40-watt bulb. So they can break you. They had to break you down to their level for them to, to coexist with you.
Why did you tell us that whole story?
I don't know.
Why did you tell me that whole story?
I don't know.
Viewer discretion is advised. This content may not be suitable for indoctrinated viewers.
All right, nuts. Before we do this, you're gonna sit here with us and watch a movie. Forget about it!
We're being programmed to forget that we actually came here on Earth to decode our soul. We passed all of the other tests on all of the other planets in this solar system.
They speak of the incarnation process as being incredibly technological. Not this spiritual thing that people think about. It's a technological process. And it's very obvious.
How you doing? It's me, Gina. Yeah, I'm driving. I'm not wearing a seatbelt neither. Forget about it.
Wisdom is knowing how little we know. First of all, if this is a simulation, and for most of the human population, this simulation is not a nice place. It's a very challenging place. It's a very sinister place. It's a very unpleasant place. You're looking at people really, really struggling. They're having really challenging lives. And again, you look around the West and you see how many more and more people are going through the same experience. Why the bloody hell would anyone come here? Why would consciousness enter this reality?
Right, I forgot. Okay, let me get into character.
Having experienced it, why would you come back? What we call reincarnation over the years of my 30-odd years, the evidence for it is actually overwhelming. If you look at the experiences of near-death experiences and you look at the amazing, massive number of stories of little children describing their previous lives.
Here we go. Say it. Oh, for the love of action.
We go back to the question, okay, reincarnation, okay, I accept that is happening. But why would people keep coming back into this reality when it's the shite hold for enormous numbers of the human population? Why we're told it's happening by the Eastern religions and the New Age, which is the Eastern religions moved west, in fact. And they'll tell you that what happens is you have to keep reincarnating to learn lessons, to evolve to a level of enlightenment where you can not have to keep on the cycle of reincarnation. Okay, so I'm being asked to believe here that you have to keep reincarnating onto, even in this one universe, never mind all the other realities, you have to keep incarnating onto this billionth of a pinhead to learn the lessons to not have to do it.
We are in the middle of a spiritual war consisting of soul-level warfare and energy manipulation. The Matrix was a documentary, and we're living in the Truman Show.
You come right back in the body if you don't understand what you're doing in this lifetime. You gotta prepare to die. They fuck you up because they fuck up your nervous system. They put you in survival mode. Now, when you die, you're gonna be in fear and pop you back in another body because your body was scared to die. You have to relax your nervous system and get your mind prepared to die. But a lot of you are like, damn, why am I live my life prepared to die? Because living your life prepared to die get you ready to live. That a lot of people don't know. Because if you ready to die now, you're gonna live life fearless. Everybody's scared to die. Don't nobody want to die. Because don't nobody know how it feels to die. But I know. I died 5 times.
Yeah, we on a big spell. And that, you know what that spell is, bruh? They call it the sleep spell of King Gu. The sleep spell of King Gu is the sleep spell of the moon. The sleep spell of the moon in ancient Sumeria, they call the moon sin. The moon sin is being born in reincarnation traps that keep you stuck to the Metatronic overlay or the material world by way of emotion. Because that's what the moon is, energy in motion. Because it moves off the tides of the planet, and it also extracts the life force from the women, which is why the women have a 28-day cycle that's connected to the phases of the moon. Because the moon, like I said, is a quantum satellite. It's not real. The moon is the moon is not real. It's the external hard drive of planet Earth, and it's a quantum satellite that controls the energy and frequency and vibration of humans on the planet. They keep you stuck in material. So it's a reincarnation trap.
I came across people who say that they can remember the incarnation process. They can remember coming into this reality from this astral dimension, this afterlife dimension, this spirit world. First of all, those that do remember this, they speak of the incarnation process as being incredibly technological. Not this spiritual thing that people think about. It's a technological process. It's very obvious when you look at these near-death experiencer accounts. The astral is also has a form of technology and also has a massively advanced version of what we would call here AI.
All right. Now you got me curious. And when I get curious, I like answers.
And what we're actually seeing with this AI emergence in this reality is that AI starting to come into here, it's starting to fuse. As you're coming in, the frequency goes down and down and down and down and down, and then down and down and more, down and down and down. This is an incredibly energetically dense reality, what we call human.
Yeah, they wipe your memory and you forget. But what if I want to keep my memory? You can't. They gotta forget because you didn't get enlightened. So who is they? Who is wiping it? Who cleaning it up? God, the God everybody worships. God backdoored all of us. The God in this world. Everybody think that God had a fight with the devil. He kind of like kicked him out of heaven. No, that ain't never happened. God ain't had no fight with nobody. He do what he supposed to do. And we supposed to rise up from this. He got us in jail. But come on, this is a prison. That's a lot of people know. You can't get your soul out this body. And then once your body died, your soul gonna go in another body. Keep on doing it over and over again. And you're gonna keep on forgetting. Keep on forgetting.
Another common theme in these people that remember the incarnation process is that they have a mind wipe. Stevenson was doing his work in looking at evidence for reincarnation. What he found was that it was young children that invariably had the memories. And by the age of 7, the information, perceptual manipulation of this reality, by the age of 7, they started to fade. Some retained it into adulthood, but not many. When they leave the body, when the body ceases to function, ceases to decode the simulation, they enter a realm which they describe as blissful, full of love, that they'd never felt anything like it before. Right? But you believe in reincarnation. Oh, yeah. So why have you never felt it before? Why is it all new to you? What becomes clear is as we enter this realm, we go through a mind wipe, and it wipes the memory. You enter this realm with a blank sheet of paper. So when you enter, you come out of the womb, even before, maybe, you're a blank sheet of paper on which the program can imprint itself of the reality you're experiencing is real, and it's not a trap. This is, and it's like, where am I? Where do I come from? People don't know that. A lot of people don't even ask it.
Hold it. I'm getting an idea. It's coming. It's percolating. It's percolating. It's dripping. Dripping. Got it!
It's this mind wipe. And so when you leave the body, the mind wipe is still in place. So when you enter the spirit world, that if you believe in reincarnation, as they do, they've entered many times before, they say, I've never experienced anything like it is like this before, because that memory is also mind wiped. And it's only when they get you back in this astral dimension and back on the wheel of samsara that your past life memories really start to come back, because they got you by then.
And that's our story. Pretty good, huh? But if you think that's the only story we got, forget about it.
Daddy, that's such a cheesy ending.
I'm just trying to get him back for next week.
You want to get him back for next week? Here's how you get him back for next week. Back for next week. Back for next week. Back for next week.
What is exactly death?
Have you ever died? It's all right, for poetry you wrote. Have you really ever died? Did you die and come back? No. In your experience, no, isn't it? Did you ever see somebody who died and came back?
I read about it.
No, did you see?
I haven't seen anyone.
Have you ever seen a dead man?
Yeah.
You seen a dead man?
I've seen dead body.
Dead body you have seen. Have you seen a dead man?
I don't know how you distinguish.
Dead body is a dead body. Have you seen a dead man? Or a dead woman?
Metaphorically, yes.
Don't go away. I'm asking about reality. I'm not asking poetry.
Reality, I don't think so.
You have not. So you have not seen one. You have not met one. Nor have you experienced. So where the hell did you get this idea that you will die?
It is learned thought.
That's what. It is a fiction of the ignorant, created by the ignorant. There is no such thing as death. There's just life, life and life. moving from one dimension to another. So only when people are ignorant and their vision of life and their perception of life is very limited to physical nature of the existence, then they will think of life and death. Otherwise, there's just life and life.
Wonderful.
Guys, I have something to tell you, and it'll be the hardest bad news I've ever had the pleasure of delivering.
Shush, Bender. We're about to find out if we're living in a simulation.
How is it possible that all these things happened to us, but no time passed on Earth? Did you go back in time to save us?
Our world is a copy of a copy. And they can't tell us that because then people will start wanting to know how to access the multiverse. And that's literally what the Masons are there to do. They're like cosmic gate guards to keep people from leaving the Earth.
Let's put it to a vote. Who here wants to test if we're living in a simulation? Me! And who would rather continue living in shameful ignorance?
Yes, that one.
We directly create reality with our consciousness and our observation. So this is another thing the Masons are hiding. Our world is a copy of a copy. And they can't tell us that because then people will start wanting to know how to access the multiverse. And that's literally what the Masons are there to do. They're like cosmic gate guards to keep people from leaving the Earth.
I've created a simulation of the entire universe. I keep forgetting, Professor. Are we in the entire universe? Why, naturally. Good news, everyone. We've got a delivery.
How'd you make it so crummy?
It wasn't easy. Even to achieve this level of realism requires vast amounts of computing power. My Symputron uses more electricity than 100 bug zappers. Which reminds me, I had to unplug our bug zappers.
Honestly, I want to know if I'm not living in a simulation, but not if I am. Does that make sense?
Surprisingly, yes. Although now we're always going to be wondering.
The space program ain't there to get us to space. It's there to trap us on the Earth by saying, well, we trying to develop the technology and figure it out. They already figured it out. They know the truth and they're hiding it from you on purpose so they can harvest you here. If every being with a soul leaves this Earth will fade away. It's using our light to create the hologram. What we're looking at here is why the all-seeing eye is above the uncapped pyramid, all right? Because the all-seeing eye is the source of creation. It's the light of creation. Oh! And the rays that's coming from it is actually projecting the pyramid below it. The pyramid below it represents what's called the physical reality. The physical realm.
The simulation is powered by a giant computer called the Symputron, but even at low resolution, it uses a lot of power to run an entire universe.
What do we call this? Polaris? Let's just call it Polaris. You can put another cone over this and start layering these cones, and then you will create multiple projected two-dimensional worlds. Those are the ethers, y'all. There's nothing 3D about this place. And the reason we think we're in a three-dimensional world is because they lied to y'all about what 3 dimensions are.
Please tell me how this could have happened.
Unclear.
They're not looking at as layers of reality, but I'm gonna go into that.
Right? I don't think you understand. Elon Musk understand what we live in. He said we live in a complete simulation, and everybody understand that because of corrected color codes in space. How could it be corrected color codes in space? It cannot be that unless we live in a computer, a generated game that come with levels. Everybody agrees, right? The spiritual world agree is a world underneath this world, and every religion agree. The scientists agree, but nobody agree to play. Everybody's still running around thinking it's real.
I just want to expose some cosmic basics that Masons are hiding. If you double up this ball right here, you'll double up the 2D projections below it. And because you have another one around it,
then the 2D projection below that one would be wider, and it will get wider and wider. Right here is what the Babel Tower is. It's one big tower made out of many astral planes. And this is, again, Aladdin's magic carpet. So when we see the brother on each plane, and his consciousness is ascending up each plane of existence through resurrection, through the mother, through the womb.
Sorry, my brain is melting. How can events happen before the ones that happened before?
You have a bunch of projected two-dimensional squares in a square, and it'll be like you painting a step pyramid from a top-down view. You will just paint a little square, then a big square around it, then a bigger square, then a bigger square.
There's only one question we need to answer right now, and that is,
If our universe is a simulation, then it's running on some kind of computer, right? Suppose we made something happen that was impossible for that big computer to simulate.
It would overload.
Exactly.
And then what?
what do we do next?
I don't know.
I mean, this place doesn't seem terrible. Maybe we should just stay here forever.
You always say that. And you always end up going back.
You'd take his place in the simulated world.
But what would happen to him?
He'd be pushed through to the sub-simulation.
And that bender?
It's benders all the way down.
Okay, but, what the hell is this? The hell is that?
Okay, how do I explain this concisely? This...
It's Benders all the way down throughout all these simulations. Bender reboots in the simulated world as Simulated Bender.
Where am I?
You're right here, Bender.
I love this shit game, and I hate it at the same time.
Man, it seems like it's all a Ponzi scheme to me, man.
So, you get it.
No, ain't no Ponzi scheme, gang. It's a simulation.
This broke me.
We live in a computer.
We live in a computer.
We live in GTA.
That broke me. I'm done.
Like a video game. That's where the Matrix come from. It's video game. Like Neo, they showed it to you. Remember, he was reborn all over again, and he didn't know who the fuck he was. He had to remember all over again. That's what they do. That's why, like, when somebody remember a lot and they get to that point, they'll try to kill them. They know they can't really kill you, but they can deport you and make your ass start all over again. You get it? Like the restart button. A man like Call of Duty. That's where respawning come from in Call of Duty. Motherfucker play Call of Duty, what happened? Your ass can't never die. You just what? Start all over again. Respawn. Now you gotta start all over again, get your points back up. In Ready Player One, they can't die. They'll just lose their avatar, and they gotta start all over again, get their new avatar, get their coins back up.
Everyone you see here is a projected avatar. Every president, everyone you see is a manifestation of spiritual energy in an avatar projecting itself here from a above realm or a below realm. There are beings projecting upward from a lower realm. You can call those devils or demons. And there's a war playing out at this standoff at the earth realm.
What?
That's what's creating this two-dimensional plane, because you have two different energies coming in opposing directions to each other, smashing together, boom. And where they meet at, the two-dimensional battleground is created, the simulation of war games.
Some phenomena are so wildly complex that they'd be impossible for any computer to simulate. For example, a collapsing magnetic star or magnetar.
But what if we intentionally caused a magnetar to collapse?
Interesting. I guess what I'm trying to say is, our universe is probably also a simulation.
These innocent bitbags may be artificial, like me, but they don't know that.
Oh, bother. I'll just keep the simulation running a little longer. I'm telling you, they're nothing but ones and zeros.
I mean, we're nothing more than atoms, right? But somehow, we are more.
We're in an ancient video game literally fighting a cosmic battle. But the cosmos is literally a digital program that's been copied multiple times to create a network of itself that we call the multiverse.
Bender makes the professor promise to keep the simulation running and not reveal that the simulated universe isn't real to its inhabitants. The professor connects the power and says they can run the simulation at a higher resolution, so now the people in the simulation resemble the actual Planet Express crew. The simulated professor announces that he too has completed a simulation of the universe and reveals his own pixelated little crew.
That's why it's a brick pyramid. But what's capping that is a non-physical realm made of light. That's because what we call the physical reality is made from the invisible, non-physical realm of light.
The Amy in the simulation starts asking the same kind of questions our Amy asked the professor.
I mean, what if our laws of physics are just the computer code of some big, brilliant professor playing God up there?
But he insists even if they are simulated, there's no way to know.
Quantum mechanics is pretty ridiculous.
Bender's suggestion, though, they slow time down in the simulation so it won't use as much power.
We won't need nearly so much power now that I've underclocked the processor.
But won't the simulation run slower?
Oh, much slower.
So they'll be in like a coma?
Oh my, no. They'll never notice any difference.
We don't supposed to be attached to this world. This world is a simulation. It's fake and it ain't the real world. They worshiping a simulation that we're stuck in right now. And the only way out is death. Death, death, death.
I would like that everyone hit the like button and share the video because, you know, when you got this kind of information and it ain't being pushed by the people, when you show up to my channel and you listen but you don't like the video, you're making my content get promoted low ranking. It's best that you don't watch it at all if you just watch it and don't like it.
Landing pad?
That's what I thought. We each have 3 lives, guys. These little tattoos on our arms, it's our life count. Bethany got eaten by a hippo, so now she only has 2 lives.
He's right. Wait, what happens if we use up all our lives?
Game over.
We mean game over.
Viewer discretion is advised. This content may not be suitable for indoctrinated viewers.
And actually, this kind of explains resets in a way. In his model, the luminaries, similar to the clock in Prague that they recently changed, well, the luminaries kind of move around, which would make all regions experience different weather.
But my favorite part? The maps that slip through the cracks. The ones showing rings of land outside the ice wall. Civilizations not plugged into our little system. Territories that conveniently vanished once satellites and official cartography showed up. But I'm sure that's coincidence. Everything is.
Here you go. This makes a lot of sense. And anyway, there's these islands right here, the Diomedes Islands or something. 2 islands right next to each other, visible with the naked eye, that close to each other. And there's a 4-hour time difference. 4 hours. If you were trying to hide a land, well, you're going to have to fudge the time too. And here, this stupid chunk here that's missing, these don't make any sense. There's no reason. Unless we're hiding land. And now you have a 4-hour difference between 2 islands right next to each other, and that's enough of a time jump to delete the island. I don't know if that's making sense. So imagine like this line cutting down and then doing that crazy jagged thing that we just saw here. I mean, this is a trick. This is a mindfuck. That's all. It's absolutely stupid. The difference in times. Why this one? This is something else to discuss. And in my opinion, these are done to facilitate the hiding of land. And this is a map from 1698. Here we also see Tartaria, of course. And we also see Turkestan, Astrakhan. Again, names of other displaced people. People other than Tartarians.
The landmass is bigger than 50 states. They conquered 50 states. Boy, you know how many tribes of us gods and goddesses still existed in other parts of the land that they just can't get into, that push to that side of the land and set up energetic force fields using magic that they can't break through? Of all the tribes that still exist, and gods and goddesses are still here. Because they use the energy, so they gotta stay in their little Wakanda force fields, because if they come outside of it, now they subject them to their energy. They got all our old magic. They showed us 50 states on the map. Boy, we got way more land than that. And I'm not even talking about when you go outside the ice wall. I'm talking about right here in what they call North America.
Now, how about this map? This is the early world map, Monty's 1587 map. 1587, so earlier than Mercator's map here. And this is pretty good. Pretty good and mind-blowing for 1587. This thing is huge, first of all, like a giant's map. 60 sheets make up this manuscript, and just absolutely mind-blowing. One could study this map, I think, for one's entire lifetime. That's all.
They have a section of our shit. They got probably like 50 to 65% of our land. And that 50 to 65% that they conquered, they named that North America.
One would never run out of things to explore with this map, and the detail coupled with the BS of Christopher Columbus. I mean, look at all of this. The map is 10 feet in size, 1587, 10-foot map. And what do we see here? Again, predating Mercator, the same thing, a center realm. Clearly depicted, this one perhaps being one of the best. Let's look at it in more detail. Let's zoom in here. So here we can see Greenland having a totally different shape than what they present today. Kind of wrapping around the pole. And this makes more sense, actually. It makes more sense because of the time. I'll show you what I mean about that in a minute.
Whatever state you in North America, just look at your state. Dive into your state. You think of lying. A lot of y'all won't even have a clue how big your state is, because they don't even show you how big the state is. They lying about all the maps anyway.
And actually, this kind of explains resets in a way. Here we can see Nova Zembla. We see the castle cities everywhere. I mean, we see full establishment in the 1500s. We see cities on Greenland. Norlandia, Alba, Albanaf. Again, mountains, rivers, ice-free. All ice-free. Cities in places where there aren't cities today. But anyway, not my point. Here even showing the flowing water flowing out. It makes me sick to not talk about this map for the entire video. All the lands surrounding. Many clues here. Basically, a much tighter gap between the oceans. Sticking Greenland in between here almost seems to be an effort to conceal land. And how about over here? Can I flip this? Yes. Here to the west of America, we see all kinds of cities out here for such an early time period. I mean, castle cities, charted rivers.
But just still, they give you a little bit, man, go look at your state. Look at how many acres the state is they telling you. You know, it's 3 times bigger than that. And then also go into how many forest preserves it is and how much land it is. Go look at all the towns. And look at all the land in between the towns. Boy, you're gonna be like, hold up.
But it's absolutely fascinating. And what his map gives us is even more land. It shows us everything around us, and then it shows us this extra. That's the bonus that we would get with the moon. You all recognize this little navel on the moon. Always looks like the navel of an orange to me. But yeah, all this extra land, realms we know nothing about.
Here is the thing. Old maps showed extra continents, outer lands, whole regions labeled, "Here be giants." But sure, those were just Doodle's medieval fan art. Nothing to see there. And Antarctica? Oh, please. Just a giant ice cube at the bottom of a spinning ball. Nothing strange about the most protected place on Earth being a frozen wasteland no one is allowed to own, explore, or fly over. But my favorite part? The maps that slip through the cracks. The ones showing rings of land outside the ice wall. Civilizations not plugged into our little system. Territories that conveniently vanished once satellites and official cartography showed up. But I'm sure that's coincidence. Everything is. Compasses glitching near Antarctica, people reporting mountains where the map says ocean, ancient cultures describing Earth as a realm with outer gates. Yep, all imagination. Humans just happen to hallucinate the same images for 5,000 years. Very logical. Look, the world they gave you is the tutorial level. The real one starts outside the fence. But hey, keep staring at your globe. I'm sure it's the whole story.